Okay, in the beginning of our video, we showed you how we cut away part of the upper hood surround to install our bonding strip for our C2 wide-body flares. So we came down our 1.5 inches, we cut it. Our bonding strip brings you around to the headlight bonding strip. And so you got factory bonding strip here, our replacement bonding strip, and back down to the lower valance. Keep in mind, since our fenders are designed to come out 1.5 inches, your inner fenders aren't quite going to make it to bond in there and make a nice job. So we make an add-on panel, our closeout panels for the front part of the inner fender and the rear part of the inner fender. We're showing you this side of the car right now in our dry run, just to give you the idea of the side fender. You're going to put this into the factory fender and you're going to mark it, come in approximately 1 inch and cut it off. So now this has a reverse flange, well as the front. So this will get fitted up here. I personally would glue these in after the side fender is glued on. This is just the purpose. This whole deal right now is going to be a dry run to show you how to get to where we're going. These are also put on our inner fenders that we make, designed for a mirror finish from side to side, along with the closeout panel, which is removable, so you can hide your battery, computers, whatever you want to put back here, and take the panel in and out and access it all. And you're going to go back in here and basically glue the side fender back on like you glue any other panel on the car. We're going to go to the other side and we'll just kind of give you a dry run of a dry fit of how the fender is going to go on. On the rear of the inner fender, you'll see the gap. A little better than 1 inch. We're 1.5 inch flare. Coming back here, it's tapering in, but you still see the gap. I'm going to show you how I go across as far as marking this off to cut the fender, inner fender, in order for the placement. So here's my insert closeout panel. I put my closeout panel in there. I'm going to take my Sharpie. I'm going to come down with my Sharpie and mark it out. Pull it back out. Now I'm going to take some 3/4 inch tape. Put my 3/4 inch tape in, and now I know that I'm going to cut on the inside. I've came in 3/4 inch is sufficient. I'm going to come back down. I know I'm cutting the inside. So I'm basically just going to mark it out, and I'm going to draw some arrows so I know cut that side of the tape. So I'm going to come in with my cutoff wheel, and I'm going to cut the back side of the tape closest to me. The front is going to be the same way. Okay, on the front closeout panel, we made it from the top to the bottom. And naturally, you can see as far as our gap is only at the top, because that's where our fender came out of. But just kind of thinking foresight, if somebody has a car, that's part of the reason why we customize them is because they've been wrecked or altered in the past, the wheel wells, not knowing we made the whole front part of this inner fender. So you can opt out and just cut the top of it off and put in there. Or if you need the whole bottom part of it, you can put it in there. So once again, it's going to be basically the same thing. Draw your line down it. Then you decide if you want to cut and just use that top corner, or if you need to use the whole side. So this part is just showing what we're going to do on the inner fender. The other side we showed you already has been cut and has the extensions vice gripped in there. And if you ever watch what we've done in the past, we never use screws. We do everything with clamps, vice grip, tape, you know, yellow masking tape, Gorilla tape. If sometimes you need to take and make a wooden wedge to come from one point to the other, make a wooden wedge. So this is the first side fender we pulled out of our mold. Our first parts that we run through the molds usually are to break the mold in, and we normally don't put those on a car. So this one's just kind of been beat up already, sitting around. And so this is the fender that we've used. You can see pretty much it's fitting. It has a couple pieces of tape on the top of it, a vice grip here, a vice grip back here. So basically, that's our fender in a nutshell. You're going to pull the fender back off. You're going to make your 2 cuts. You're either going to do the top portion or the full portion. And then you're going to take and just fitting purposes, make sure everything fits nice. Grind off the back side of the part where it's going to go to the bonding strip, refit it. Everything's been made a little bit longer. Whenever we make a part, we tend to make it a little bit longer, so you have to grind it to fit. Everything has to be fit. Every one of these cars are different. We can have 3 of them sitting here side by side, and normally all 3 of them never match from the factory. So they were hand built. We're building them by hand. Everything is different. So once everything is ground, your inner fender extension on. I'll wait and put this on last after the side fender's glued on. Then I'll come back and epoxy these in. I'm a firm believer of using epoxy bonding materials as well as a filler, and I use body filler at the very end just to finish it off. So you get your prep work done. You've seen in some of our other videos how we mix our epoxy up and put it in a freezer baggie, and we'll squirt it on. Makes it uniform, makes it oozes out like it looks like from the factory. And then we use an epoxy that's slow kick, has a long pot life, so you're not rushed with it. Now you'll just reverse what you saw me take off. You'll put it up there. You'll get everything marked, taped, clamped, and walk away from it until tomorrow. Hopefully this is helpful.